everyone, it's Miranda. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, for the first time, why don't you subscribe? Become the newest member of the Slash Squad. Here I review products you won't feel guilty buying and do looks you can actually recreate at home. So I'm really excited to do this video because it's one that many of you have specifically requested. So a few weeks ago, I did a haul and wear test of a bunch of makeup from shopmissa.com, which is like an online makeup dollar store, basically. And one of the products I picked up was this Santee Flawless Perfect Finish Foundation. One of the reasons I picked up this foundation specifically was because it reminded me a lot of a drugstore foundation, the packaging and everything. And I'm talking about the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. What's the big difference? The Santee one is $1, the NYX one is $14. So in that haul video, I asked you, would you want to see a comparison? Because at that time I hadn't tried the NYX one yet, and a lot of you said yes and asked me to do this video. So here it is. Today I'm going to be comparing the $1 to the $14 foundation and doing a full day wear test, or at least as full of a day as I can. It's already like 10:20-ish. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by putting this on my face, telling you my first impression. I've used both of these on separate occasions, but I think seeing them really side by side, I can get a better feel of the differences and similarities. So let's just go ahead and put these on my face and then we'll wear them throughout the day. I have cleansed, I've moisturized, now it's time to prime. Now I'm gonna be using the NYX Total Control Drop Primer. Now I thought a lot about whether or not I should use this and whether this would give the NYX side of my face the leg up, but I actually figured if I just put this all over my face, it would give the NYX foundation the chance to live up to its full potential, and then this is just in general a great primer anyway, so I didn't think that it would kind of unbalance the scale in any way. So let's go ahead and put this on. So just like the foundation, it comes with a dropper and oop. I like putting it on like war paint because it's just fun. And just rub into the skin. So to apply this foundation, I am going to be using the AOA Wonder Sponge, which is also from shopmissa.com. Easily my favorite sponge that I own. It becomes so big and fluffy and bouncy, and I actually like it better than the original Beauty Blender, which is $20. So I will leave the link below if you want to check this out. So first off, before I actually put this foundation on my face, I do actually want to just show you the difference in consistency, which I think is going to play a big part in how these foundations perform. And what I'm looking for in this foundation test is coverage, longevity, texture, comfort, you know, everything that I really want in a good foundation. So let me just go ahead and swatch these side by side. Now please keep in mind that the NYX one is a little bit light for my skin tone. I'm gonna try not to let that affect my end opinion, and I'm gonna try to blend it out so that it works as well as possible. Now here is the Santee foundation. As you can see, it's kind of creamy. I feel like it has a very traditional foundation texture or consistency. And here is the NYX Drop Foundation, which is clearly a lot more liquidy because we are getting that running. And then you can also see, of course, the shade difference, which is a little bit dramatic, hoping that's not gonna affect anything. But why don't we go ahead and just put it on my damn face. So I'm going to be starting with the Santee foundation, which I'm going to be applying to my right side, your left, of my face. So this does have a creamier consistency, so it's not so much of a drop foundation. In fact, with this one, I actually think that the dropper is not the best packaging for this foundation because it's kind of too thick to drop onto your face. So I've just kind of swiped it around, and now I'm gonna go ahead and blend it in with the sponge. Although it's maybe a scent dark, so we're working with one dark foundation and one light foundation here. Now this foundation does not make any claims to longevity, but it is supposed to dry matte, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all that it says online, is that it will dry matte. So here we go. We've got a nice little blend going on. And as you can see, it's just a tiny bit darker than my natural skin tone. So let's go ahead and blend down. Now this is definitely medium coverage, not full, although it seems buildable. I'll also say that this covers my pores really well too, and that's also, you know, thanks to that primer. It just kind of gives me a nice smooth skin appearance. So like in this one. And I did do a full face wear test of this foundation already in that Shop Miss A haul, so check that out. I'll leave it in a card and in the description below so you can see what this looks like after 10 hours all over the face. So now let's move on to the NYX Total Drop Foundation. Now again, this one actually doesn't have any longevity claim either, but it is $14 versus the one, and it's a lot thinner, which in my mind makes me think that it's more supposed to be used to mix in to other products such as moisturizers or to adjust coverage or color with other products, but it is just marketed as a foundation, so that's how we're gonna use it today. Now again, it's a little bit light, so we're gonna proceed with caution. So this is supposed to give you custom coverage, so it'll start out a little bit on the lighter side, and then you can definitely build up to a fuller coverage as well. Can you tell that I have two completely different shades on my face? So I feel like with one layer of each, we're getting about the same amount of coverage because I have definitely less noticeable problem areas, but I can still see them. And maybe it's because I know that they're there, but I can see a little bit of discoloration here, a little bit on my cheeks. I have a red spot right there. And then up here I have a zit as well that I've been trying to get rid of. So I am gonna go ahead and do a second layer of each foundation, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what everything looks like. I'm actually gonna focus the second layer just on the places where I feel that I need the coverage the most. So not completely all over, just right where I have those discoloration and problem areas. And just so you guys know, I am flipping the sponge depending on which product I'm using, so I'm not like mixing them on the sponge. Okay, so with the second layer, I feel like both of them definitely did give me a little extra coverage. However, I feel that the NYX one gave me a little bit more with that second layer. I'm seeing a lot less of what I didn't want to see versus the Santee, where as it dries down, I still am seeing a little bit of redness come through on my chin. But the difference is still slight, not quite a $13 difference. I'm just gonna zoom you in a little bit so you can really see the skin up close. So here is my NYX side. Now I do feel like we have still a little bit of a glow going on. We do have that like natural radiance, natural skin look. It's not like super dry or matte. However, I do feel like it looks like a powder finish. It's very smooth, it's very soft. I really, really like the finish of this foundation once it's blended out. Here's my Santee side. Now I feel like I have a little bit more glow on this side. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments, but I just feel like compared to this, I have just a tiny bit more over here, which is funny because this one specifically said that it has a matte finish. With that said, it's not dewy, it's just glowy. Does that make sense? Like I don't feel like I look wet. I feel like I just have healthy skin. The actual finish of it is very natural. I would say maybe it's demi-matte at most. It doesn't give you that dry look. So again, really, really liking both sides. And luckily, I don't think the color difference is too off. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So luckily we were able to salvage that with some blending. So here's the deal. I'm gonna go throughout the rest of my day with as little extra makeup as possible. So I'm gonna do my brows, mascara, and lips maybe, but I'm not gonna do any contour, blush, or highlight because I really wanna see how this foundation does on its own and really get a full picture of how it's performing. And for your reference right now, it is 10:49 in the morning, so I'll check back in with you in a few hours. Hey everyone, so I'm checking in. It is now 2:19 in the afternoon, so it's been about 3.5 hours. Thus far, I want to say that even though there was a big difference in the consistency of the foundations where the NYX on this side was a lot thinner than the Santee on this side, they both feel lightweight, like especially because I actually haven't ended up putting any more makeup on my face today. I just don't feel like I have layers and layers of stuff on my face. With that said, you can probably tell just from looking at my face, I'm feeling a little bit more shiny on the Santee side, which is here. So here you can see I'm not having as much of a shine issue on the NYX side here, but it's definitely noticeable on the Santee side. I don't necessarily feel greasy or anything. This is just kind of the finish, which again, Pretty funny considering the only claim it had was that it was matte. The coverage is still very much intact. We're still pretty much capping out at about medium though, I would say. Now, I wanted to do the phone test with you because I did notice the couple of times that I touched my face on both sides, I was having a little bit of product transfer. So, here is my clean phone screen. Let's do the test, shall we? Hello? Yeah, I wanted to see if my makeup would rub off. That's kind of a lot, right? That's what came off. All right, let's do it to the NYX side. Here it is, clean. Hello, NYX. Give me something good. Okay, so not as much, but we definitely still have a little bit on there. So in terms of like transferring, the NYX is definitely winning. As far as the shininess, that's definitely preference. I know that some people love to look dewy, so maybe this is more your style versus this. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I think I prefer this finish here on the NYX side versus this, unless I am going for like a very fresh-faced look. So yeah, right now we don't have enough information to really make a call, especially because the coverage on both sides is still pretty good. So I will check back in with you again shortly. Currently 5:26 p.m. so it's been a few hours, and here is where we're at so far. As a reminder, this side is the Santee side and this side is the NYX side. Again, definitely seeing more shine. You can start seeing it poke through on the forehead on the Santee side. I'm also seeing a little bit of patchiness around the chin area. A lot of the redness is starting to come through around my blemishes. On the NYX side, I actually am seeing a little bit of the same results. So around my nose, you can kind of see a little patchiness and redness around this blemish here. So they seem to both be wearing off at this point. So I put it on at 10:30-ish a.m. Now it is about 5:30. So we're at about the 6-7 hour mark now. And like I said, neither foundation had a longevity claim, so I'm not necessarily holding that against them. But we're at the point where I feel like things are breaking down now. You can definitely see it around here where the foundation's starting to break up around my nose. This is the NYX side, and here on the Santee side. So this is a really close race. I think the only thing that the NYX side had on Santee that would make it maybe better is that it did dry down a little bit more, had more of a powder smooth finish, and then there was less transfer when we did do the phone test. Clearly the Santee has been getting a little bit more shinier throughout the day. That could be rectified with powder. Clearly just even the consistency alone, they're different enough to not be dupes, but that doesn't say that the Santee isn't a good foundation for the dollar. So I'm gonna check back in with you one more time before the end of the night, but we are definitely at the breakdown point where the foundation is going to start losing a little bit of its integrity. Hey everyone, so we're here with my last check-in. It is now 7:36 p.m. So it's been like 9 hours since I put this foundation on my face. As far as coverage, I feel like they performed actually pretty similarly. We started seeing breakdown around the 5 to 6 hour mark. Definitely seeing some hyperpigmentation and blemishes come through on both sides. Again, this is Santee and this is NYX, so we do have it on both sides, maybe a little bit more on the Santee side, and that could definitely be attributed to the fact that the Santee did do a little bit more transferring than the NYX. However, I do want to show you up here on my forehead, I feel like I look a little bit powdery and kind of dry and cakey up here, and this is from the NYX side, like it's falling into the texture of my skin. So both sides had its pros and cons. I definitely would say at the end of the day, they are not dupes. The Santee $1 Flawless Finish Foundation is not a dupe for the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. However, the Santee is a pretty decent foundation for $1, especially if you set your makeup, which I did not because I just wanted to see how the foundation just performed. If you set it with powder, you might see a lot longer lasting results than I did today. I would say that I would lean towards the Santee if you are combo to dry skin, just because you do get that shine throughout the day. Not sure if the oily people out there would necessarily appreciate that. As far as the NYX foundation, to be completely honest, even though it performed better than the Santee foundation, I don't really want to use it again. I would honestly rather use it mixing in with a moisturizer to create a tinted moisturizer or use it to correct a color of another foundation. But on its own, it just doesn't do a lot for me. It doesn't last very long. It doesn't give me enough coverage for even like small blemishes and stuff. So for $14, like I wouldn't use that as my foundation. So out of those two, if I were to just use a foundation like all over my face, it would probably be the Santee one because for the price, it's pretty good. So that was my comparison of the $1 Santee foundation from shopmissa.com and the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. I hope you liked this side-by-side dupe review. If you want more like this, hit the thumbs up button and let me know if there are like dupes you want me to explore in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, become the latest member of the Slash Squad, or you can click my face right here. If you want to see my last video, click this box, and for something else really fun, click right there. I make new videos every Saturday, sometimes in the middle of the week, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!